So this morning we're going to be sharing some inspiration about Srila Prabhupada's book distribution marathon and the importance of good sadhana, and we're going to be exploring how these two things complement one another. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, my name is Caitanya Vallabha. Welcome to my channel. Today is November the 24th, 2023, and today is the start of the annual Srila Prabhupada book marathon. So yes, a few thoughts that came to me during Japper today. I've just finished chanting my Japper, and of course all your best ideas come to you during Japper. So I thought I'd share some with you. The first one is that there's an expression or an idiom, which is to see the world through rose-tainted glasses. What it means basically is that, we see the world in a better way, in a more favourable way. Often it's given, when someone falls in love, it means they see the world in a different way. They see everything as very positive and friendly and loving, to see the world through rose-tainted glasses. And of course, it's the same for us as well. There's in the Brahma Samhita, it says, Premanjina Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, which means that one's eyes become tinged with the salve of love. And therefore one sees Krishna everywhere and sees Krishna within everything. So yes, when we chant good japa, when we perform good sadhana, we see the world in a different way because our eyes are tinged with the salve of love, just like wearing rose-tainted glasses. There's also an expression, are you a glass half empty or a glass half full type of person? So someone who is very positive and optimistic, it is said that they always say that the glass is half full. But a pessimistic and a negative person sees the glass as always being half empty. So do we want to be a positive and an optimistic person, or do we want to be a negative and a pessimistic person? Do we want to see the world through rose-tainted glasses? Do we want to have our eyes tinged with the salve of love? Well, my expression this morning was because I was making an extra endeavour to chant nice japa, because it's the Srila Prabhupada book marathon, and therefore it means that we can, if we make an extra endeavour to please Krishna, to please Srila Prabhupada during this month. Actually, one time one devotee said that we can make more advancement during the month of December, or, I know it's November now, but we're starting the book marathon early this year. So we can make more advancement during this month of the Prabhupada book marathon than we do in the whole year, because it's a time to put everything else aside. So because I was making an extra special endeavour this morning, I suddenly started feeling really positive. I started seeing the world through rose-tainted glasses. I started to see that the glass is half full and not half empty. So that's one reflection from this morning, that we should really endeavour to chant nice japa and perform good sadhana, and this way we will have a positive outlook to life. Of course, this isn't the real goal, but it's a concomitant factor, Srila Prabhupada says. This is a byproduct of nice Krishna consciousness, is that we become more positive, more happy, more peaceful. So that's one thing I thought of this morning. Yes, okay, we'll move on to the next one. Yes, my next reflection was that as this morning I was trying to chant nice japa, because like we said, it's the Srila Prabhupada book marathon. We want to make an extra endeavour this morning, is that I was really trying to focus on my japa. And generally when I chant japa, I chant quite loudly. So it reminded me, one time I was at Bhaktivedanta Manor, maybe in 2006, 2007, and I was up in Srila Prabhupada's rooms, chanting my japa, pacing up and down. I'm a walker. When I chant japa, I don't sit down in one place. I pace up and down, probably because I'm so much in the mode of passion. But anyway, there was one older devotee sitting in the corner of the room, sitting down, absorbed in his japa. And after I'd been chanting for a few minutes, he said, Prabhu, he said, can I ask you a question? And I said, yes, Prabhu, please. Yeah, what is your question? And he said, are you a Sankirtan devotee? And I said, yes, Prabhu, I am a Sankirtan devotee. How did you know? And he said, because you're chanting loud japa. A Sankirtan devotee has to chant loud japa. So this devotee, he was called Sanjaya Prabhu, and he was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he was a book distributor on the famous book distributing party, the Radha Damodar Travelling Sankirtan Party, which was managed by Tamal Krishna Goswami and Vishnujan Goswami. And they had these Greyhound buses. They were travelling all over America, and they were distributing hundreds and thousands of books. They were fired up, as we say, to please Srila Prabhupada by distributing his books. So Sanjaya Prabhu, he said to me, I can tell that you are a Sankirtan devotee because you are chanting loud japa. He said a Sankirtan devotee has to chant loud japa. He said because actually when we are out on Sankirtan, we are completely at the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He said any other service, we can perform our service, but we don't have to take shelter of Lord Nityananda in the same way that we have to on book distribution, because basically we're out in the lion's den. We're out in the middle of Maya. We're in the hearts of the towns and the cities. We're in the breeding ground for Maya. And Maya can, they say Maya goes in like a needle and comes out like a plow. So, you can fall down. You can get distracted from the path if your eyes are not fixed on the goal. So in order to be fixed on the goal, we have to really take shelter of the holy name. So he said in the old days, we used to chant round Srila Prabhupada's Vyasasan, and we would really chant loudly and focused. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. He said because we're really trying to take shelter of Lord Nityananda, who is the general in the Sankirtan movement, because we want to be empowered. We want to be able to spread Krishna consciousness. We want to be able to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. We want to be an instrument in the hands of Lord Nityananda to give Krishna consciousness to these fallen conditioned souls. So therefore we really have to take shelter. And I was thinking like that yes, any other service, it's not that we don't have to take shelter in any other service, but you can get away with it in other services. Just like if let's say you're sweeping the floor of the temple, and you can be sweeping the floor, but you're thinking of all kinds of other things. In fact, one time I was at the Liverpool temple when I was a student, and I was going to the Liverpool Namahat. And there was one person there who used to come every week. His name was Stan. He was a Liverpudlian, a Scouser. And he used to come every week. And one time he was sweeping the floor. And one of my friends, Radhikanagra Prabhu, he asked him, wow, Stan, you're really enthusiastically sweeping the floor there. And he noticed that he was listening to some earphones. And he said, what is it you're listening to? So Radhikanagra Prabhu was thinking he would perhaps be listening to some Srila Prabhupada bhajan or kirtan or some lecture, something to inspire him. And he said, and I'll try this in my best Scouse accent, he said, hey, I'm listening to Public Enemy. It's Boss Man. Anyway, that was a bad accent. But anyway, he was listening to Public Enemy, which is a gangster rap band. So he was really fired up. Of course, it's still beneficial. He was cleaning Krishna's floor. But the point was that he was listening to Public Enemy. He wasn't listening to Kirtan. He wasn't listening to Srila Prabhupada. So my point is that you can be performing devotional service, but your mind is elsewhere. But on Sankirtan, on book distribution, if your mind goes elsewhere, you're in trouble because you're in the lion's den, you're in the kingdom of Maya. So you really have to focus the mind when you're out on Sankirtan. And in order to be able to focus the mind when you're out on Sankirtan, when you're out on book distribution, that begins in the morning with good japa and with good reading. This morning I've been reading from The Perfection of Yoga, because that's the book that I'm going to be distributing mostly during the Prabhupada Marathon. So I thought it would be inspiring to read that book, because that's the book that I'm going to be sharing with other people. Because when we go out on book distribution, we're not a salesman. No, we're actually trying to give something. It's like we're experiencing some taste, some happiness. Just like if you've seen a good film, naturally you want to tell people, hey, I've just seen this new movie on Netflix. It's great. You should watch it. It's really good. It's the best film I've ever seen. So in Krishna consciousness, we should be experiencing something. If we're actually chanting nicely, we're reading nicely, we're practicing nicely, we're associating with devotees nicely, we're offering our prasadam, offering bhoga to Krishna, we're taking prasadam. If we're doing everything nicely in Krishna consciousness, we should be getting a higher taste. Su sukham kartam avyayam. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, devotional service is joyfully performed. So if we're practicing devotional service nicely, we should be getting a higher taste. So naturally, we want to share that with others, right? It's like, hey, chanting Hare Krishna is brilliant. Taking prasadam is brilliant. Please try it for yourself. That's what the book distribution marathon is all about. It's like, we're getting a higher taste. We're getting a higher pleasure. Please, you try this. You take this book. This book will change your life. So yes, that was one thing I was thinking. So Sanjay Prabhu, he said we have to chant loud japa. So yes, in any other service, we can be thinking of anything else when we can still basically perform the devotional service. But in Krishna consciousness, when we're out on the Srila Prabhupada book marathon, if we're not focusing on Krishna, then our mind will get carried away. So we have to chant loud, focused japa. Yes, so as we said, Sanjay Prabhu said we have to chant loud japa. Yes, focused, loud japa, because the mind is always active. The mind is always wandering. Like when we go into a supermarket, there's background music. But if we go into the supermarket and we find ourselves just listening to the background music and we forget to do the shopping because we're so distracted, then we've missed the point. Right? So in the same in Krishna consciousness, we want the mind to become background music. You know, we don't want to pay too much attention to the mind. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear mind, you are no Vaishnava. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that the mind can be the best friend or the worst enemy. So for the controlled mind, it is the best friend. And for the uncontrolled mind, it is the worst enemy. Just like this morning, because I was making an extra endeavor to chant nice japa, my mind was very positive and it was coming up with suggestions about, you know, how I can serve Krishna better. When the mind is the worst enemy, it's just coming up with thoughts about how to take us away from Krishna, how to distract us from our Krishna consciousness. So we want the mind to become the best friend, not the worst enemy. So therefore we need focused japa. And therefore, for me at least, that means chanting loud japa, because I want my japa to be at least louder than the mind. Just like in the supermarket, we want the background music to be quiet and in the background so that we can focus on the task at hand, doing the shopping. So yes, for me, that requires loud, focused japa. Yeah, so that was another thought. And another thought, my third reflection. Actually, I'm losing track of how many reflections there are now. I'm just getting carried away with the spontaneous enthusiasm that's coming. So yes, I'm really looking forward to the Srila Prabhupada book marathon. For me, it is a chance to make an extra endeavor. I feel like I'm always in Maya. All year round, I'm always in Maya. Like Srila Prabhupada, one time he said to Giriraj, he said, Giriraj, who's Giriraj Swami now, but he was Giriraj Das Brahmachari at the time. He said, Giriraj, he said, how is everything going? And he said, Srila Prabhupada, he said, everything is okay. He said, but sometimes I fall into Maya. And Srila Prabhupada pointed at him very sternly and said, you are always in Maya. Sometimes you fall into Krishna. So yes, it's a fact that, you know, at least personally speaking, I'm always in Maya. But during the month of the Srila Prabhupada book marathon, it is a chance to get out of Maya, at least for this month, to make an extra endeavor, to go the extra mile, to go above, to go above the call of duty, to go above and beyond. Yes, that's it, to go above and beyond, to make an extra endeavor, to please Srila Prabhupada by distributing his books. Srila Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, distribute my books. Distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that there is none more dear to me than those who preach my glories. Why? Because actually, when people are taking their first step in Krishna consciousness, this is the most pleasing thing to Krishna. Just like for a parent, like now I'm a parent, I have my son, Haridas, who's 3 years old, and my daughter, Nadia Mani, she is 11 months old. And she's just starting to take her first steps in Krishna consciousness. So there's nothing happier, there's no greater pleasure for a parent than seeing their children progress. You know, to see your child taking their first steps. There's a picture in the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita of Prabhupada when he sees Prabhupada was staying in Butler, Pennsylvania at Sally Agarwal's house, and they had their son Bridge, and he was taking his first steps, and there's a picture of Srila Prabhupada seeing Bridge taking his first steps, and he's got big wide eyes and he's smiling because, he was happy to see this child taking its first steps. So Krishna, he's happy to see his children taking their first steps back towards him. And as they say, if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 1,000 steps towards you. So yes, when we go out and we help others to take their first steps in Krishna consciousness, this is the most pleasing thing to Krishna. So therefore he says, there is none more dear to me than those who preach my glories. So we've got a wonderful opportunity during this month from, November the 24th to December the 24th. We're starting today because today is Black Friday. It's a big shopping day. There's a lot of people out there on the streets today who are going to be out there looking for things which they can buy, which can make them happy. But actually there is nothing that will make one more happy than Krishna consciousness. One time Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was saying that, usually when you're trying to market some product, it's difficult because you don't have monopoly of the market. There are many people selling the same thing. And actually another thing is that generally with marketing, it's generally like it's false. Like you see a picture of some really tasty food, but when you get it, it doesn't actually look like that. So marketing is done in such a way to make it appear better than it is. But in Krishna consciousness, we've got monopoly of the market. There's no one else giving transcendental knowledge like that which is available in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, like that which is available in Srila Prabhupada's books. We've got the monopoly, we've got the highest knowledge. There is no knowledge higher than Krishna's teachings in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we've got the monopoly. There's no one else who can give this product. And not only that, this product actually works. It's not false. This product does bring us the highest happiness. Susukam katam avyayam. Krishna consciousness is joyfully performed. And if we are not convinced that Krishna consciousness brings us the highest happiness, then we have to make that extra endeavor. Because Krishna says, Ye yata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So if we surrender unto Krishna, sarvadaman parijjaja, mam ekam sharanam vaja, aham tvam sarva papabhyo mokshay yashami masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, masuchaha means do not fear, do not hesitate, do not worry. So for me, that's also another meditation for this book marathon. Do not fear, do not hesitate, do not worry. Just give yourself completely, fully surrender unto Krishna. And then we will get that happiness, that nectar for which we are always anxious. So let us take advantage of this month of the Srila Prabhupada book marathon. Let us go the extra mile. Let us go above and beyond the call of duty. Let us go the extra mile. Let us make the extra surrender. And then that happiness will come. Actually, Haridas Thakur, he was glorified for two reasons. It is said that some devotees, they practice, but they do not preach. Some devotees, they preach, but they do not practice. But Haridas Thakur, he was glorified because he did both things. He was the most perfect example in practicing Krishna consciousness. He's the Namacharya. He's chanting, 3 lakhs of names every day. 192 rounds he's chanting. And he is perfect in preaching. Even though he was chanting 192 rounds every day, he still had time to preach. So therefore, this is the perfect example. We have to both practice and share Krishna consciousness. And the two go hand in hand. When we have nice practice in our Krishna consciousness, then we feel inspired to share Krishna consciousness. And when we're going out to share Krishna consciousness, we feel inspired to practice Krishna consciousness. And one reason for that is that when we're giving Srila Prabhupada's books, when we're getting people to chant the holy name, when we're getting people to take to Krishna consciousness, we see the happiness in them. Often when we stop people on the streets, we find that they come along and they're looking morose and miserable. But as soon as they've had contact with a devotee and Srila Prabhupada's books, they go away in bliss. Every day we find that. And the more and more that we're in good consciousness, the more people Krishna will send us to take the books. We're just praying to Krishna. We're praying to Lord Nityananda, to Lord Chaitanya, please make me an instrument in your hands to distribute these books. Because out there on our own, we can't do anything. That's why we said, Sanjaya said, you have to chant loud japa, because therefore you're actually taking shelter. Please, please make me an instrument in your hands to distribute these books, to distribute this mercy, because on my own, I can't do anything. So we go out in this mood. It's adventure. Krishna says in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, I am adventure. So this book distribution marathon, it's an adventure. We don't know what's going to happen. We go out with a bag or a trolley full of books and we don't know who's going to take them. But Krishna will send the people to us if we are in a good state of consciousness. So let us chant nicely. Let us read nicely. Let us go out of our way. Let us go the extra mile. Let us make an extra sacrifice, an extra surrender. And whatever it is, myself, I'm going out on the streets to distribute books. But you can take books into your work colleagues in the office. You can take a book and give it to the bus driver or to your Uber driver. You can take a book and give it to your lecturer at university. You know, at Christmas time, it's the time to give gifts, to give presents. So what better present to give people than Krishna in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books? So buy some books from your temple, distribute them to your friends, distribute them to your family, distribute them to your colleagues. Somehow or another, try and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books in this month of, November, December. This is the month of Magh. Krishna, and that's another thing in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the month of Magh. Of months, I'm the month of Magha, I think it is, in the 10th chapter, which is the month of November, December. So this is the month of Krishna. This is the month of Srila Prabhupada. So let us really go for it and make an extra endeavor to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. And then we will be completely blissful. We will be completely satisfied. We will get out of Maya. Anyway, I'm going to stop there now because, I need to get ready to go out and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. So we hope you've enjoyed the video. It was a little bit spontaneous. There wasn't really much structure to it, but just some spontaneous enthusiasm to not only inspire myself, but hopefully to inspire all of you to take part in Srila Prabhupada's book marathon. So if you've liked the video, please leave a comment, like the video, share it with your friends. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And yes, let us go out and make an extra endeavor to please Srila Prabhupada and distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. Hare Krishna.